this is Mambo Sandy. Some may know me by Angelique, but this is Mambo Sandy. Let me tell you. I know you're like, why are you looking crazy? I'm looking crazy because I was just out in my garden not too long ago. But this was on my mind, okay? And I know I may get told off about this, but I'm going to say it. Why are black churches having such a hard time? I'm going to tell you why. Part of the reason is, it's not. Black churches, number one, was just not built on Christ. That is not what it was. There was ancestral spirits that lingered in the church. Whether you want to recognize it or not, you can or you don't. It's up to you. But there was ancestral spirits in that church that watched over those churches. Okay? But the problem has become that people are such in a hurry to go to church and come home. Okay? Because now, long ago, you go to church, you were there all day. People went to church, and churches were more not about money. They were about the foundation of helping people. Okay? And that's why the devil is able, if you want to say devil, I'm going to say negative energy. Okay? That's why it's able to creep up in the churches. Because people have forgotten what the foundation of a church was. Okay? The church would help you if you didn't have any clothes. The church would help you if you were going through something. Now, don't get me wrong, and I'm going to say that, oh, churches were the best thing since sliced bread. Of course, you know, because of the Bible teaching, there was things that the churches didn't put up with. But for the most part, black churches were the foundation of the community. Okay? They helped people go to college, if that's what you wanted to do. If you were a smart student, and you know, the church would get together and rally behind a child or children to get them into maybe their first semester in college or something like that, or private school, whatever it may be. If you were hungry, you know, the church would bring you a basket. If you were a teen mom, you know, and things happen, you know, they would bring you a basket of clothes. They would make sure you were hooked up. But you know what has happened? The church started taking. Every time you turn around, you know, the collection plate is being passed around, but it's not helping the flock. Okay? And people's minds are everywhere than what they're supposed to be than church. They're thinking about, oh yeah, I gotta go to work on Monday. Or everywhere but where it needs to be. Church was just what it was. It was a building where people would get together and worship. But if you look closely, if you YouTube old black churches or Baptist churches or Pentecostal Methodist, look at old sermons compared to these sermons now. Look at, there was nothing like, if you would go down south, I was about, and this was my grandmother, okay? When you would go down south to a church, back in the day, I'm not going to give my age, but I probably did already. They even had days they didn't use a piano. They clapped. Who was they calling on? Ancestors, and they didn't know it. Some of them did. Because they had praise houses. Look up praise house. Look that up. And you will see what went on in praise houses. The spirit was still strong. When you would go to church, you could feel the Holy Spirit or ancestors or whoever. You could feel that tingle when you stepped in the church. If you still go to church, do you feel that in your church? Churches have changed. Churches are not the same like they used to be. This is why the devil is or negative energy is able to just ride up in there and just sit there. And because, correct me if I'm wrong, elders out there, Evil is not supposed to walk on hallowed ground. Just not. So what has changed that evil was able to come up in them churches? Something is going on somewhere. Are y'all gossiping too much about each other? Are you putting each other down too much? Because when you do stuff like that, that's when negative energy can creep in. Okay? There's a difference in being religious and being spiritual. Okay? I've said that before, and I'm going to say it again because I'm going to tell you something. I'm not saying that you know everything, okay? But you can feel when something isn't right. If you're a spiritual person, which is why my godfather say, do your glass of water and candle, Sandy. Do your glass of water and candle, Sandy. Meditate, pray, some people might call it, so you can feel what is going on around you. Because if you haven't noticed, we're all in a spiritual war. So, FYI, we're in a spiritual war, people. That's where we're at. Okay, so be mindful. The church must be reawakened. Those ancestors, some of them done rolled over in their grave. Some of them don't even care. But at one time, when you went up in that church, you could feel the spirit in that church. Why does it take a tragedy for us to open our eyes? And I say this the same thing when I go to family funerals. Why is it that we only get together when it's a darn tragedy? Why? We need to be together all the time, but no, because this one's against this one because they're Baptist and that one's Methodist and this one's Pentecostal. And within the African religions or diaspora, oh, well, I practice Egyptology. Well, I'm Santeria. Well, I'm Voodoo. The Candomblé. You know, Palo. And you know what? Guess what? Negative energy be sitting here like, keep right on. Yup. Just keep being divided. And ego. That's the other thing. I'm not going to name no names, but people asking for planes and stuff. Really? Ego. You're not meant to do everything. I'm going to tell you something. Sweetie, I don't want any god kids. I wouldn't want them. Nope. Wouldn't want them. I'm happy helping my godfather. I am happy to help him. You have to humble yourself. Humble yourself. Look at what's going on around you. Everybody's not meant to be a leader. So sometimes you need to step back and look at your spiritual leaders. Let the lamb's wool be removed from your eyes and see what's really going on around here. People have gotten too concerned about the wrong things. Because guess what? At one time, churches weren't these, black churches were not these big buildings. Sometimes it, 4 walls and some chairs, maybe a bench. Once again, look up praise houses. Okay, that's the root. Look up the Macintosh Shouters. I think that's what they're called. Look at them. And I put these things up, but people ignore that. Y'all want to, they like dumb shit. Excuse my language. That's what y'all want to do. And that's why all this crazy crap is jumping off. Because like many of the elders have said on Facebook already, you're blind. You're worried about the wrong things. And meanwhile, negative energy is just sitting back, waiting to jump in. Why? Why? Because we just hate each other. Why? Because we've become greedy. Why? Because we got too much ego. And unfortunately, the best of us get caught up in the BS. Every day I have to remind myself to stay humble. Because people like to stroke your so-called ego. I can't do nothing without God and the low I, or a higher force and the low I. That's it. If the head man says no, it's no. If the low I say it's no, then it's no. That's just how it is. But just open your eyes, look and see what's missing. There's something missing. The Spirit has left the churches. And they're going to have to do a lot of singing and a lot of praying and opening their eyes to understand. Y'all want to say turn the other cheek. Y'all real quick, Christians are very quick to put that out there. But there's also a passage in the Bible that says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a damn tooth. Well, I didn't say damn, but a tooth for a tooth. Okay? So if someone keeps putting their boot on your neck, how much longer are you going to let them do that? So understand that. This is Mambo Sandy I'm having a good day today. All right, but I want you to have a good day too. All right, bye-bye.